You know the number by heart because you have heard it from 3 different people, and no 2 of them said the same thing. Somebody told you the hybrid battery is a $6,000 bomb waiting to go off at 100,000 miles. Somebody else told you it will run to 300,000 without blinking, like the car is just getting warmed up. The dealer said something different. Your coworker said something else. The manual doesn't spell it out, and you're sick of being told what to believe by people who have something to sell. So who are you supposed to believe? I'm not selling a battery or an extended warranty or anything else. What I'm going to do is name who I'm using, tell you exactly what they found, and let you decide. 2 numbers from the same research company, both honest, pointing in opposite directions about which brand lasts longer. Most people pick the number that fits their story and never mention the other one. I'm going to show you both, and then I'm going to tell you why the gap between them matters a lot less than the gap between a car that got its maintenance done and one that didn't. The thing that sounds fragile about a hybrid is actually the thing protecting the parts that usually die. What kills a normal engine is idling in traffic, cold starts, and hard pulls from a dead stop. Oil is cold at startup, the clearances are tight, and every ignition scrapes metal against metal until the oil warms up. A hybrid handles all 3 of those with the electric motor. Your gas engine shuts off instead of sitting there cooking at a stoplight. When it does run, it runs in a narrow, easy range where the oil is warm and the load is steady. It starts and stops far less often than a normal engine, so the starter motor and the ring gear it engages don't take the same beating. Your brakes barely wear because the car slows itself down by spinning a generator, not by squeezing pads against rotors. The complexity you're afraid of is the thing keeping the expensive mechanical parts alive. Here's how the Toyota system works. The 4th generation Prius ran from 2016 through 2022, and the 5th generation started in 2023. In the middle of the drivetrain is a small gear, the sun gear. Little gears ride around it, and a ring gear wraps around the outside. Your engine connects to one of those, and the 2 electric motors connect to the other 2. That's it. There's no transmission in there the way you understand transmissions. No clutch, no torque converter, no gears that shift, nothing that hunts for the right ratio or slams into the next one. The second most expensive thing to blow up in a normal car simply doesn't exist in this one. Electric motors fill in the gaps by spinning faster or slower, and the whole arrangement is called an ECVT, which is just a fancy way of saying that nothing moves inside there except the parts spinning on their bearings. There are no bands to burn up, no valve body to clog, no torque converter to shudder. Parts that usually send people to the shop simply aren't in there. That's why a Prius with 200,000 miles on the original drivetrain isn't rare, it's ordinary. Now here's how the Honda system works, because it's completely different. This 2-motor system started with the 2014 Accord Hybrid. The 2005 to 2007 V6 Accord Hybrid used the old IMA system, and no Accord Hybrid was built at all from 2008 through 2013. Around town, the engine isn't connected to the wheels at all. It spins a generator, and that electricity turns the wheels. Your engine runs at whatever speed is most efficient, and the electric motors do the actual driving. On the highway, a single clutch snaps shut, and the engine drives the wheels directly through one fixed ratio. That clutch is the only mechanical connection between the engine and the wheels, and it's either fully locked or fully open. There's no slipping or hunting for the right gear. It has 2 modes, generator in town and direct drive on the highway. That is the whole thing. Here's one practical consequence you should know about. Because there's no ordinary alternator, the small 12-volt battery charges off the big pack. If the big pack truly dies, the car may refuse to run at all, rather than just losing its boost. But these packs give you warning. A light comes on. The car gets sluggish. You know something is wrong long before it strands you. You're not going to wake up one morning to a dead car with no warning. Now the numbers, and this is where most people pick the side that fits their story and stop listening. The research firm is called IC Cars. They put the Honda Accord Hybrid at roughly a 180,000-mile average lifespan, with about a 37% chance of reaching 200,000 miles. They put the Toyota Prius at roughly 169,000 miles average, with about a 29% chance of reaching 200,000, so on average lifespan, the Honda comes out ahead, and the gap narrows on odds of making it to 200,000. But a model-level average pools the old IMA cars and the modern two-motor cars under the same name, which is part of why the figures disagree. But then the same firm published a ranking of the longest-lasting hybrids, and that list is swept by Toyota and Lexus, the Highlander hybrid, at around 31% odds of reaching 250,000 miles, the Prius at around 12%, no Honda near the top. And IC Car's current reliability rating, which looks at reported problems per vehicle rather than lifespan, still puts the Prius hatchback at the top of the hybrid category. It is the same company, both numbers are honest, but they're answering different questions. One measures average lifespan across every example, including cars scrapped early for a crash, a flood, or a rust hole that has nothing to do with the drivetrain. The other measures the odds of one car reaching one specific milestone. Different questions, neither one lying. It's also worth remembering that the Prius has been on the road in large numbers since the late 1990s, while Honda's modern two-motor system didn't arrive until 2014. The Prius simply has more years and more miles to measure. Averages move over time too. These were current in mid-2026, but they shift as more cars rack up miles and new data comes in. Here is what both numbers agree on. Both drivetrains clear 200,000 miles for the overwhelming majority of owners who maintain them. The gap between Toyota and Honda is smaller than the gap between a well-maintained car and a neglected one. The brand matters less than the habits. If you remember a bad Honda hybrid from 20 years ago, you're not wrong. Honda had an older system called Integrated Motor Assist, roughly 2003 to 2009 in the Civic Hybrid. One thin electric motor mounted between the engine and the transmission that couldn't drive the car on electricity alone. It just helped. The batteries wore out early, owners got sluggish cars, warning lights, and no power up hills. Around 2010, Honda pushed a software update meant to protect the failing packs, and it made the cars slower and dropped their fuel economy. The exact two things people bought the car for. Lawsuits followed, and Honda settled. But here's the part nobody tells you. Honda threw that entire approach away. The two-motor system they sell today, the one in the Accord Hybrid and the CR-V Hybrid, shares essentially nothing with that old design. Judging a modern Honda Hybrid by a 2006 Civic Hybrid is like judging a smartphone by a flip phone. The name hybrid is the only thing they have in common. Now the battery itself, because that's the thing keeping you up at night. The old figure you heard, $8,000 to $10,000 to replace, is a memory from the early days. Packs today cost a fraction of that. Battery price range, TK. Those numbers come from dealers and hybrid battery suppliers, not independent data, and remanufactured packs typically run well below dealer pricing. A remanufactured pack is one where the dead cells are swapped out and the housing is reused, which is why it costs so much less than a brand new unit from the dealer. These packs routinely go 150 to 200,000 miles and beyond. Both Toyota and Honda extended the hybrid battery coverage to 10 years or 150,000 miles. Companies don't hand out warranties like that on parts they expect to fail. Here is one thing you can do this weekend. The hybrid battery has a cooling filter. It keeps dust off the pack while a fan pulls air through. A dealer typically quotes around $200 for that job. It is roughly a $20 part and a 2-minute job under the rear seat. You pop the cover, pull the old filter, slide the new one in, and you're done. Heat is the one thing these packs genuinely don't tolerate. Keep that filter clean and you add years. So which one do you buy? Buy the Toyota if you want the deepest proven track record and the best resale value. Buy the Honda if you want a quieter, quicker drive and you're comfortable with a shorter paper trail behind numbers that so far look just as good. Both brands have taxi fleets running them past 300,000 miles with original drivetrains. Neither one is a gamble. Remember who profits from the fear. A scared buyer pays for an extended warranty he will never use. A scared seller takes thousands less on a trade-in for a risky hybrid that gets resold at full price as a steal. Brand loyalty didn't save it. Habits did. Drop a comment with your year and model and what the odometer says right now. I especially want to hear from the high mileage folks. If you're past 200,000 miles on the original battery pack, say so, because your odometer is worth more to the next person watching than 100 glossy reviews. And tell me what your summers are like, because heat is the one thing these batteries genuinely don't love.